Hello everyone, I'm Chestic44 and welcome to this Let's Play Blades of Avernum. Last episode, we did a little bit more exploration and finally managed to find Brother Oakleaf again. He had us help out all the villages, which we'd already done. He had us retrieve some artifacts, which we've retrieved most of, and now we have to go find Ephesos. We're in this cave, which is supposed to wind to a village where the Order of Flame is, so let's go hunting through here. As you enter a larger cave, you begin to see what Brother Oakleaf was talking about. A large group of lizards has taken up residence on the west side of this cave, and they look angry. Their hisses soon grow deafening, and you prepare yourselves for a fight. Yeah, this is a fight. I've actually had people talk to me about the fact that I do fighting like this. Specifically, I've had oh, jeez. Okay, those are mutant lizards. Let's enter combat. I've had people tell me about this in the Discord I made. Yes, I happen to make a Discord for Spiderweb software games. And I've had people basically talk to me and go, why the hell do you do combat like that? It's a stupid thing, you shouldn't be doing it. Are you actually? No, you're wielding the spear. I have my reasons, and it may not always be the best reasons. Wait, is this... Strength and melee weapons? What? This is a spear! Why is it a melee weapon? God damn it. That should not be how it is. No wonder you're not doing very well with this. I'll have to trade that out somewhere. Ah, crap. Now I gotta reload. Suffice to say, I've had them ask me, why do you do combat like this when dealing with, say, ranged foes, with bows and the like? And admittedly, that's not the best thing, but honestly, I find entering combat a bit slow sometimes. There goes that one. Alright, some healing. There goes one. And there goes the other. Okay. So I guess next time I next time I finish the scenario, I'll have to actually go back to the artifact hall and fix things. That's a bother. The passage ahead seems completely blocked. You could try to move it, but it would probably take days. There must be another way through the cave. Of more interest to you, however, is the hissing sound to the southeast of you. It sounds different from most of the lizards you've killed. Walking down this passage, you see what looks like a small bat carved out of stone. You also notice a rock formation which looks uncannily like a fire lizard. The hissing from down the passage... Oh! Basilisk! And that's a dead end. Okay, I gotta reload. That was completely unexpected. I mean, it makes sense that, there'd be Basilisk with all the lizards they're sending at us. I think the Order of Flame would have more fire lizards. I mean, it would make sense. Fire lizards makes a lot of sense. Right, healing. Hold on. Alright. we go. Light, please. Thank you. I should have realized when it said something about a bat statue. Hold on. Alright, and now, just to keep us alive here... That was easy. We just had to survive that first attempt. Alright, back to moving through this place. Hold on. There we go. Wow, the light here does not last long. Turning up this passage, you hear more slithering and hissing. However, you find Brother Oakleaf's footprints going through here, so it can't be that bad. You begin to wonder if the lizards can still detect his presence, even if they can't see him. Probably not something to dwell on, really. To the north, you can hear the sound of drakes flapping around a mid-sized cave. Sounds like there's only two, but anything could be down here, really. Suddenly, a group of lizards dashes around the corner at you. They must have picked up your scent, or worse, maybe they picked up Brother Oakleaf's. Salamanders! This is actually the thing we need. I guess there was a good thing I did that. Do nothing. I didn't want to be in auto combat. Okay. Some healing. There we go. Oh, force cage. Do nothing. And there's another one over there. Do nothing. You slow them all. Great. Froze the healer. That's what we wanted. That's not good. Hey, that guy's dealt with. Now definitely heal Sheik. Thank you. There we go. Ooh, a ring and a necklace. Both unidentified. Jeweled ring that's sellable. And coins. It's the other side of the blocked passage. Walking along another tightly winding tunnel, you hear rushed breathing to the north. Fortunately, it doesn't really sound like lizard breath, and you don't hear much hissing. You approach cautiously. Brother Oakleaf appears in front of you in another cloud of magic energy. He's a bit singed and scratched, but he's still standing. I must show you something. Follow me. Oh. Brother Oakleaf leans back on the cave wall, clearly exhausted. You might want to see this. From here we can see our enemy's temple. To the southeast of it there's a small town. That's where we should end up, and then we can raid the temple. As you look down into the lava-filled valley, you can't help but notice how much more smoke fills the sky, and how pitiful the small towns look. However, your attention is grabbed by the immense temple, and the bellowing voice which begins to speak from its center. Rally the Horde! Oakleaf turns to you with a worried look on his face. Clearly, this isn't good for the Order. We must move even swifter than before. The fate of the Order depends on it, for if Karprev invades our valley while Ephesus is gone, we will fall. Our best hope is to run into the temple once their troops have left and face Karprev head-on. It's a long shot, but we may yet manage. I'll scout ahead again. Don't worry about finding me, I'll find you. Good luck. With that, Oakleaf disappears again, and you hear his footsteps move on to the south. Not good. It appears that your mission just became even more urgent, and the timing looks like it'll be even more difficult than before. Wonderful. As the cave grows darker and more damp, you hear even more hissing to the south. To add to that, it's getting much warmer than it was at the entrance. In fact, you smell smoke. Walking down this passage, you come to a dead end filled with rubble and loose rocks. Looks like there's nothing of any interest down here. Is that... No, that's just a mutant lizard. Come on, kill it. Another healing. There we go. Now, let's deal with the fire lizards that are over here. You move further into the cave and the hissing suddenly stops. However, the smoke smell has grown more intense and you see streaks of flame occasionally shooting across the cave ahead. Deciding to play it safe, you crouch behind some stalagmites and look ahead. It's Brother Oakleaf again, and he looks more burnt than before. He frantically points deeper into the cave, yelling for you to run. Thinking he means to continue on without him, you run into the middle of the cave while he hides behind a stalagmite. As you reach Oakleaf, you notice what he's been hiding from. A lighter-than-usual hydra stands in the middle of the cave, and it appears to have an aura of fire around it. Stranger still, it looks like it's about to cast a spell. It bellows, and a jet of flame strikes Oakleaf in the chest. Ah! Oakleaf yells in pain and turns himself invisible again. You hear his rushed footsteps leave the cave chamber. Meanwhile, the Hydra turns its attention to you. The Hydra stares at you with each of its heads, hate filling its glare. Stranger yet, it starts to speak. I am Shaz. You will perish here now. The Hydra's skin starts to glow more. This can get unpleasant. Then you notice a wand clutched in its mouth, which also starts to glow. Okay, definitely get some healing out here. It does it twice? Jeez. Well, the Hydra won't last too long, but still. We all missed. Why does it do it twice? The Hydra screams in agony, its aura of flame disrupted at last. Flames escape from its body and it slumps to the ground, lifeless. The wand it had clutched in its mouth is now yours. We got an unidentified ring and a wand of fire. How useful. Alright, I'm gonna run outside to regain some of my spell energy. Just because we need the spell energy. Oh, wrong way. There's no hidden paths over here, is there? No, there is not. You can't turn back now. You've got to press on with Brother Oakleaf and try to rescue Ephesos. Okay, I guess we can't do that. Nope, not that way. God damn it. You know, you'd think the lava would actually glow and provide light. As you leave the dead Hydra mage behind, you hear light footsteps behind you. This time nobody appears, but the footsteps stay with you. You guess that it's Brother Oakleaf. As you hear him grumbling about his wounds, he chooses to stay invisible. The tunnel you're walking down opens into a lava-filled chamber with a set of stairs in the middle of it. The heat is almost unbearable, but you still walk up to the edge of the lava. As you ponder how to cross the lava, Brother Oakleaf's footsteps come up behind you again. He jumps back into visibility and starts muttering another spell. As the lava cools to stone, Oakleaf turns to you and smiles. Now that we can cross the lava, shall we continue? The partially toasted druid walks to the stairs and motions for you to follow. Okay, then. Well, let's go down the stairs. You descend the numerous flights of stairs and meet Brother Oakleaf at the bottom. He leads you down the tunnel and you come up to a giant metal door. On the other side of this door is a town controlled by the Order of Flame. I can't vouch for who or what is in it, nor can I really say if we'll get by them. Still, we need to press on because we need to find Ephesos. So on the count of 3, we make a break for it. Oakleaf slowly counts to 3, and all of you run through the door as quickly as possible. You run out of the doorway and find yourself in a crumbling ruin of a town with not a soul in sight. The buildings appear scorched and only the walls remain. Brother Oakleaf is stunned. This is incredible. So much destruction. We cannot begin to guess what the people here endured, nor can we ever right this wrong. Our only recourse is to stop the one who began this all, Karprev, the only one who could ever control the Order of Flame, and the only one with this warped of a conscience. Come, fellow druids, we have a dragon to slay. You and Brother Oakleaf silently walk away from the town, the smoke-filled sky looming above you. Okay, we made it out. Suddenly, Brother Oakleaf crouches behind some rubble. He silently motions for you to do the same. Now that you look at your surroundings more, you're finding it increasingly difficult to keep calm. The sky is so thick with smoke that you can't see the sun, and the only light comes from the lava lining the valley. To add to your uneasiness, Brother Oakleaf points out the ungodly large horde of lizards pouring out of the temple. Countless fire lizards and hydras march south under the watchful eyes of gangs of drakes. We timed this perfectly. The temple should be nearly empty, and we should have a clear shot at Karprev. As the last of the horde leaves the gates, Brother Oakleaf signals to move out and charge the temple. Wonderful. So now their army has left. You begin to look away from the Order of Flame's citadel towards the desolate valley controlled by the lizards. However, you cannot waste any time exploring this valley because you've still got a mission. Besides, that's the way Karprev's army went. Knowing that, you reluctantly turn back towards the Temple of Flame. So, Sumi, this is just what I'm doing. It is a fairly impressive temple. Okay, I take it back. It's a really impressive temple. Really impressive temple, jeez. As Brother Oakleaf guessed, the gates are virtually empty. You have no trouble slipping past a few guards and soon find yourself inside the gates. Meanwhile, the temple itself looms large ahead of you. Yeah, this is a very impressive temple. Never seen a temple this big before. You enter the inner court of the Order of Flame's temple. Ahead lies the temple itself, which from here looks like a collection of barracks surrounding a smoking pillar. The barracks out here are eerily empty and quiet. You can only guess what they would be like fully occupied. Right, stepping in. You enter the innermost area of the Temple of Flame and find that it's really not that much. The only buildings here appear to be barracks, though the giant smoking pillar does catch your attention. Brother Oakleaf runs ahead of you, clearly agitated. The holding cells must be around here somewhere. I guess I should have expected that would happen. There's Brother Oakleaf. This appears to be one of the Order of Flame's many barracks, and thus not pertinent to your mission. Countless locks line the doors, and claw marks cover the door frames. Needless to say, it would be far too risky to break into the barracks, so you leave the heavily padlocked doors alone and return to seeking out Karprev. You approach Brother Oakleaf cautiously, recognizing the anger that's driving him right now. Eventually, he notices your presence. Ephesos is here. I feel his presence. What now? Brother Oakleaf remains silent. You hear the bellow of a dragon, presumably Karprev, to the north, and Oakleaf suddenly starts muttering a spell. When his eyes glow blue, you decide it may not be so smart to interrupt him. That should blow the locks. The icy blue leaves Oakleaf's eyes and he begins to speak again. I'll check the cells, you distract Karprev. Once I free Ephesus, we can leave. Distraction? You wish he was kidding, but the look on Oakleaf's face is all business. You realize that to save Ephesus and the Order, you need to buy Oakleaf some time, even if it means putting yourselves directly in the line of fire. After a second, you hit yourself for even thinking of such a weak pun. We understand. Good. I wish you luck. You reach the top of the stairs and pause at the entrance to the smoking pillar at the temple's center. The inside of the pillar is completely filled with lava, and the heat is beyond oppressive. A giant thing carved out of blackened stone rises out of the lava, and you can guess that's where Karprev nests. You look back, and Oakleaf wishes you luck one last time. Use the sky shard to follow him if you must. I will work quickly, so you shouldn't have to last long. There's a small consolation when you see Karprev high above you. Craning your necks upward, you see him descend upon the blackened stone in a cloud of flame. What is this? Karprev's voice shakes every bone in your body, and you can't help but feel some awe for this beast. You still could never bring yourself to respect this foul creature, but that's a given. Karprev stares down at you and laughs, a sound which brings some chunks of rock tumbling down from the walls. What mortals dare disturb me? Karprev bellows when he finishes laughing. You silently curse Brother Oakleaf's plan. You didn't know Karprev was quite this big, or this intimidating. As you stare down Karprev, Brother Oakleaf departs to search the east holding cells. Not knowing what else to do, you approach Karprev to start distracting him. Of course, you're not sure exactly how to distract a 20-ton dragon. Out of ideas, you decide to try something incredibly desperate. I hope this works. Knock, knock! Karprev laughs again, cutting you off and shaking the floor of the temple. Pitiful! You are not worth my time! Karprev flaps his wings once and lifts into the air. He clearly doesn't think anything of you, but you need to hold his attention until Brother Oakleaf can free Ephesus. Not knowing what else to do, you use a sky shard and follow him into the air. Meanwhile... Not there. Not there either. He must be here. Who's there? Karprev? Ephesus! How? There's no time. We have friends to rescue. As you chased after Karprev, you realize that the smoke in the air is slowly choking you, and that chasing him in the air just isn't going to work. You land where he was perched before and try to regain your breath. Once you can breathe again, you take a look around. The floor is warm volcanic rock, lava and smoke surround everything, and it smells unbelievably like lizard. In an attempt to find Karprev again, you silently walk toward the center of this strange structure. As you scan the smoke-filled skies, you realize that it's gotten too quiet. Sadly, there's little you can do when Karprev drops out of the sky right in front of you. The dragon glares at you, realizing that you're actually serious about fighting. He laughs again, knocking you to the ground and nearly throwing you into the lava below. Picking yourselves up off the ground, you realize that you can't find the sky shard. You curse Brother Oakleaf's planning again, realizing that you can't escape. Lost your precious little toy, haven't you? What a pity. I was hoping to take that for myself. I guess I'll just have to be content with killing you. Karprev flaps his wings and rises into the air again. You can't guess what he's going to do, you just hope that Brother Oakleaf and Ephesus arrive soon. As Karprev soars into the air, he begins dropping clouds of fire on you. You can't see any way to hit him, though the smoke's too dense to aim anyway. Jumping down isn't even an option, so you're left to wait out the firestorm until Brother Oakleaf and Ephesus arrive. Karprev breathes a line of fire straight down the middle of the platforms, directly into you. Amazingly, it doesn't burn you on contact, though it leaves pools of fire on the ground. Karprev sweeps down toward you, slashing each of you with his claws. He disappears into the smoke before you can react. Some form of protection, at least. Okay. Group healing. Karprev breathes another line of fire straight down the middle of the platforms, down a different direction this time. Again, the floor is covered with pools of fire. It's the best position I can find. Karprev sweeps down toward you, slashing each of you with his claws. Ah, crap! Now I gotta reload and go through that entire intro thing again. Be right back. Alright, we're going through this again. Fortunately, I think if we stand in the corners, we can avoid a lot of this. There's not really anything you can cast. Fortunately, we can avoid that. There's a slashing with the claws. Bloody hell, he's getting more powerful. You hear an enormous magical explosion to the south, back where the holding cells were. You only hope that it's Brother Oakleaf and Ephesos. If it is, then it's only a matter of time until you're saved. Alright, drink that. Yeah, you kinda have to. Karprev descends in front of you again, looking slightly bored as the cloud of flames around him settles. I see we're going to have to do this the hard way. You should be dead. Something is wrong. I have arrived, Karprev. Ephesos calmly faces down Karprev, smiling with a vague hint of punishment to come. Karprev is visibly shaken. You! How did you escape? My cage spells cannot be broken! Karprev bellows, a hint of fear creeping into his voice. Always one for melodrama, weren't you? I think you should know that you cannot kill one of our order while I walk free. Your flames will carry weight no longer. No! You shall perish! Karprev screams, shaking the platform you stand on. The dragon begins to cast another spell, this time aiming at Ephesos. Ephesos deflects all three blasts, sending them crashing into the walls of the temple. You hear the walls begin to collapse. You hope Ephesos can wrap this up quickly. You have failed, Karprev. The Order of Krell has won. Ephesos begins muttering a spell and focuses his gaze on Karprev. No! The spell finds its mark and strikes Karprev's skull. As he begins to fall, he utters one final curse. If I must die, so must you! My temple will crumble with you in it! He screams with rage, sending beams of fire into every wall of the temple. Karprev lies dead, his body thoroughly scarred by Ephesos' spell. Ephesos beckons you over, yelling for you to move quickly. Quick! We must escape before the temple crumbles, he yells. As one of the walls begins to give way, you anxiously listen to him. Thank you for giving Brother Oakleaf the time he needed to save me, Ephesos says while starting to cast a spell. I could never have escaped alone. In any case, give me one more minute and we'll be out of here. Ephesos continues the spell and you suddenly notice that the entire temple is dissolving around you. The walls are buckling from the damage Karprev inflicted and looks like they won't hold much longer. With one last muttered syllable, Ephesos completes the spell, and the temple is filled with an immense blue bolt of light. Follow me! As you step into the portal, you can feel your bodies being ripped apart and soon find yourselves reassembled elsewhere. The portal closes behind you, and the Temple of Flame collapses at last, the deafening sound echoing into the mountains. You cautiously open your eyes, desperately hoping that you don't see any lizards, drakes, hydras, newts, salamanders, or dragons. Luckily, you've reappeared in the Order of Krell's temple in what appears to be Hephaestus' quarters. Hephaestus calmly begins to speak. We are forever in your debt. I do not know how we could ever repay you. Well... Brother Oakleaf appears out of nowhere, looking even angrier than before he freed Hephaestus. The bottom of his robe is partially charred, and he appears to be out of breath. Korprev's army is coming! We must prepare ourselves! Go tell Trekord. We'll be ready. I shall not fail, Hephaestus. As you can see, we have a small lizard problem now. If you wish to stay here, you are free to help us defend our temple. However, we cannot ask any more of you than we already have. Just remember that wherever you go, you have our order's blessing. Hephaestus serenely leaves the room, probably off to help prepare the troops for battle. You are left in the room alone. You can't help but think of how strange this mission has been. You've killed lizards, distracted a dragon, and wound up sitting in a tree. While you're not sure whether or not you really want to face down an army of lizards, you can't help but think that you'd be in good hands. Regardless of the approaching army, you know this. Your mission is accomplished. What happens next should be interesting. And so ends Order of Krell. I think it was a decent spot to end. Sure, we didn't necessarily have to go through fighting an entire army. I mean, gameplay-wise. As awesome as that would be, I think it's fine that we didn't. Even if that was an amazing point in one of... Never mind. I also liked how they actually had reference to one or two to that other scenario. That was a nice touch. So this episode, this wasn't too bad. Next episode, we'll move on to another one of Hephaestus' stories. I can't remember which one, but I'll find it. That'll be in the next episode. So until then, I'm Chester44. There's Fox, Sheik, Bonnie, and Draco. This has been a Blades of Avernum Let's Play, and I shall see you all next time.